Hey y'all, I'm Mayer Cunningham, the special education boss. If you've ever felt confused, overwhelmed, or just plain frustrated at the 504 IEP table, you are in the right place. Every week, I'm breaking down the rules, the rights, and the realities of special education so you can walk into meetings informed, empowered, and ready to make real change. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, an advocate, a school-based member, or somebody who's just trying to do right by a student, this podcast gives you straight talk, real answers, and tools that you can use immediately. I'm not here to play politics. I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to train people who sit at the table and teach you how to follow the law, ask the right questions, and protect the rights of students. So go ahead and hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change. We're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. Hello! Who says that like that? Hello! Oh.
You do.
No, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yes.
Hello!
Yes.
Yeah, you know I like that movie? Pantyhose. Pantyhose. How are y'all? Are you doing good? We have to tell our friends that we're live. Come on in, come on. Remember people used to say that? Come on in, come on in, come on in.
Man, we're not good. We're epic.
Hey, Megan. Oh, there's Rachel. Do you know Rachel? She's an amazing advocate, and she runs Georgia. She runs it. Excited. Okay, so do we have any questions, Cindy?
I'm still trying to log into TikTok. It is not showing me that we are live yet, at least on my side.
Yeah,
so hang tight.
Maybe I should try the Wi-Fi. How about the Wi-Fi? Oh, that's the problem. It's the Wi-Fi in a different mode. I know what you're doing in this meeting, but I don't know what your modem is. Wah, wah. I'm here all day.
Here we are.
There we are.
Your vibrant redness and the blue lights behind you, spectacular. You guys should all have Cindy. I think that I could, walk into her house and break everything and she would go, that was spectacular. So we should sell this. We should put this in our TikTok shop. So there's white, which looks like light blue. And then there's blue, which looks like purple. And then there's, green. I guess we could do that for St. Patrick's Day. And then it's red, but it looks pink, doesn't it? It does.
Okay. We'll go back.
I liked your original one.
The original?
Yes.
Yes. So you guys put your questions, comments, concerns, categories in the chat. Can you believe that it's March?
I can believe that it's March, but
wow. So in the special ed world, if you have an advocate, be nice to them in March because we're not sleeping, we're not showering. We may or may not have brushed our teeth. That's a great thing about working from home. I don't feel pressured to brush my teeth every day. I mean, they're not giving away toothpaste. And at my age, my toothpaste costs $35. I think it's a racket, the toothpaste industry. But I bought it. So we call this in special education, we call this March Madness. And then we call next month April Showers. And then the next month we call it Mayhem. So if your advocate didn't call you right back, it's because we're out there helping the children. Oh, and also, no IEP meetings finish in March, April, or May. We continue them because we have so much time open in our schedule, right? I am always available for reconvene Saturday at 2 a.m. when I leave the club. Yeah. I did that today, and this lady's like, Miss Cunningham, we're not open on the weekends. Aren't you? I feel like you are. I feel like everybody would be available, right? They wouldn't have another commitment. I feel like we'd have better IEP meetings if we just left the club. So I have something in my hand.
What do you have?
Oh, what's interesting?
What is that?
So I don't know if you know, but I wrote this book called The Epic IEP. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a powerful playbook for parents, educators, and advocates navigating the IEP process. But we heard from you, and y'all said you wanted another book. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready.
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Alan? Are you ready, Rach? You're the first to see this. It is 237 pages long. Wait for it. Bom, bom, bom. The Epic IEP, Guide to Paraprofessionals.
Oh my gosh.
So that will be shipping at the end of the month. And then everybody will know what they need to know about the amazingness of paraprofessionals, what they can do, what they need to be supported in doing, and what they can't do. And we have every statute and law in there from ESEA, the Elementary School Act of 1965. That got here the same year I got here. It includes 2001 NCLB, No Child Left Behind, by President Bush, and then 2015 by President Barack Obama, ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act. And guess what else we have in here? Your statutes for your state. So when somebody says, oh, that's true what special education boss said, but that's not true in Wyoming. I don't think so. So we're excited. You guys wanted the para book, right? Put in the comments if you wanted the para book. Para. So we'll be shipping it out. We're excited. It will be available on our sites and a website called, what's that website called? It starts with an A. Amazon.
Yes.
I wonder if I say Amazon, then the bots in TikTok will not know what I'm saying. Amazon.
Very possible.
Amazon. It's like French. I get my stuff from the Amazon.
A place.
A place.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you super booked as an advocate?
No, I used to be super booked. I'm past that. I worked till 4 in the morning last night. Is that last night or is it in the morning? Yeah. I don't know. Are you super booked, Cindy? Is Rachel super booked? Is Alan super booked? Yeah. But we have a thing coming this weekend. What's coming this weekend, Cindy?
Oh,
this weekend. It's the two-day live, right? So if you would like to be with me and have the 2-day intensive live, your questions answered, this is the first one that we have for this year. And sometimes we do 2 a year, sometimes we do 3, but this is the first one. So please join us this weekend. What is the weekend? The 7th and 8th. It's going to be amazing. You get the recordings, you get the workbook, and at the end of it, you will be ready to be an advocate full-time. You'll be ready to be the most amazing diagnostician, the most amazing dyslexia, special ed, Vanderbilt graduate, IEP member. You'll just go back to your school and be the most amazing Epic IEP advocate ever.
And you know what? Each time I sit through it and I listen, I'm learning something additional. I've done it several times, and each time I catch something new, I hear something new. So beneficial to take it again.
Yeah. And so also, if you guys are listening and you're alumni, so this is the first time we've ever opened this up. So if you've already taken the 2-day intensive in person, remember the older days we went in person, you took it virtually, or you took it at one of our virtual lives, we have an alumni rate that you can join us for a very discounted rate, because who doesn't need a refresher? You like a refresher, don't you, Cindy?
I love a refresher, which is why you are on my radio every time I am in the car.
Radio. Is that what the kids say? Radio.
Did you mention that they get a copy of it too? Because I think that's huge. You can go back and look at it even after.
Yeah, so you get the recording because I kind of talk fast and it's kind of a lot. And yeah, so here's the book that is, you guys wanted this. If I had a color printer that worked, I have a color printer, it just doesn't work. So the Epic IEP Guide to Paraprofessionals. Guide to Paraprofessionals. It's 250 pages long. It is everything that you need to know about paraprofessionals, their duties, their obligations, their limitations, the requirements and expectations under No Child Left Behind and Every Student Succeeds Act. And we put in all of your state statutes. So all in one hand. So when you go to your leader who says, hey, you're a paraprofessional, we're going to leave you alone in a self-contained room for 7 months, you might go, let's look at page 21 together. Shall we? We shall.
That is going to be so huge, because when a state tries to reduce the benefit of IDEA, it's right there.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Are there paras in electives, or do they not need to be present? My kiddo is in Spanish but has no para there.
Yeah, so here's the thing with the LOTE requirement. The LOTE requirement, language other than English, right? First of all, why do we take Spanish? I mean, I border Mexico and I got an A in Spanish 1 and 2 and I couldn't have ordered breakfast. So the requirements for a second language, usually 2 years in high school. I don't know why we still have that in 2026, but okay. There are no adaptations to that content area. Certainly you can get accommodations, but we can't modify it. It's a general ed product. And so you might need a pair in there if it was for behavioral support, but not for academic support.
Several people said they can't wait to get that book. Can you please tell them when again that it will be available?
It will be. It will be. It will ship at the end of the month. So we should have the link up probably this week. But you guys ask for it. And you know what? You got it. So it'll be available for on our website, theepiciep.com, Special Education Academy, our bookshelf, and it'll also be available on the Zon, if you know what I mean. You know, that Jeff guy.
Yeah.
Do you buy stuff? Do you buy stuff on Amazon, Cindy?
Oh man, do I buy stuff on Amazon?
I wonder if I didn't buy stuff on Amazon, how much extra money I would have. But, you know, you can't take it with you. That's why you need 17 nude lip liners when you don't wear nude lipstick. But I got it. Maybe we'll give it to Alan. We'll make his eyes pop.
Well, you order so much that George brings home meals for the Amazon guy because he's coming every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We're stimulating the economy.
Yes, we are. I'm looking to pivot my career as a sped teacher. I'm also a mom. Is there a need in Washington State for advocates?
There is a need everywhere. And so wherever you are an advocate, let's say that you live in Washington State and you're going to be amazing. Well, your client is going to tell their cousin in Wisconsin. And so we have these things in our computer. They're called Ethernet cords. They take the ether and then the net, and you put them together, and they're in one accord. And so since Friday, the 13th, 2020, I have been advocating from my Ethernet cord from the Kodiak Islands to Miami-Dade, Florida. But there is an endless need for advocates. We have, I think we're close to 9 million children in America with an IEP. Some advocates are yucky. And most advocates don't do it for full time. So we certainly need full-time advocates that understand the letter of the law, the spirit of the law, how to negotiate with teams, how to move things forward, how to rebuild fractured relationships. So come on down. We would love to train you to be an awesome sauce special education advocate in Washington.
Can you tell us where to go? You talk about a bookshelf. I want to start collecting my professional stash.
Yeah, stash. Can we say that on the internet?
Stash.
Yeah, so if you go to Special Education Academy, or just the link tree, wherever the link tree, our website, it just says Advocate Bookshelf because you guys wanted to use the books that we use, and they are all listed there. So you can just WJ4, DSM-5 yourself for days.
I printed that out when I first started, and every time I got one, I checked it off with my pink highlighter.
You did?
So, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
You got to have the books.
Yes. My son is not getting everything on his IEP. Can I have a list of steps I need to take? Help. He's a 6th grader.
So when you say he's not getting everything on his IEP, what is he not getting? Is he not getting minutes? Is he not getting implementation of IEP goals? Can you just give us a little more information?
Yes. And that's from
And then
with it.
Bianca said, what are the steps to becoming an advocate? Getting trained by the best. And there's nobody that has better advocate training than us. There just isn't. There isn't. And so in 48 hours, you can be fully trained and equipped with the recordings, with the workbook, with the knowledge that you can go out and start your advocacy business because the need is endless.
Minutes, goals, and accommodations, says Erin.
Okay, so I would first reach out to the school and just ask for a review IEP meeting. And then when you're at that meeting, just say, I'm concerned that my son might not be getting his whole IEP. Can you confirm that's happening? And then I would go to the goals and I would talk about a goal. And so tell me how you're implementing goal number 7 when you pull him once a week and work on it.
Yes.
Ted, tell me, explain, describe, right? If you ask a yes, no question, if you say, Alan, are you taking data? You know what Alan's going to say? Right. So don't ask yes, no questions. We call them curated questions, right? We develop them before we get into the meeting. So I would say, so Rachel, Trevor cannot stand when we do math at home, but whatever you do as the amazing math teacher, he loves it. Could you describe to me what that looks like? Could you explain how you make that happen? Could you tell me how you get these gains, right? So it's the TED acronym, TED, and that starts a conversation instead of, questioning people, because nobody wants to be questioned. I think some people do want to be questioned.
I'd like to ask the question.
I'd like to buy a vowel and ask the question. Oh.
Yes, please. I am being held back simply by one thing. You've talked about advocate salaries.
Mm-hmm.
Will an advocate's salary be equal to a teacher's salary or better? How do you figure that out?
So I don't know what teachers make, but it's ridiculous. It's terrible what we pay teachers. I think the average teacher in Louisiana, starting out, makes $31,000 a year. So advocates, when they start out, I would have them start out at $50 an hour. So $50 an hour, if you worked full time, would be 6 figures, which is probably what they pay you at school. I think that's what Rachel was getting. I think that she just had a big bag of, she had to carry a bag for all the money, right? Isn't that what you do, Cindy? When the school gives you so much, you're like, what could I possibly do with all this money? When I tell advocates, they literally could be full time in 90 days. And they could, if they had time to build their business in 90 days. But what happens is once you open that valve, here they come. And we will also teach you how to build your business.
We had eligibility meetings. The committee was split on what to do. Shouldn't they already know?
So when you say the committee, do you mean school district employees? So we have 5 stakeholders, right? So the parent, the LEA representative, the local education agency, the general ed teacher, the special education teacher, and somebody that does evaluations and can interpret them and answer questions about them. So I would assume, because I'm an assumer, that the district, county, or city already has a recommendation. And then we would follow the data in those amazing evaluations. If the evaluations are not amazing, then we would ask for an IEE. But everything is a committee decision, so it's okay that we're not all on the same page at once, but we need to work to get there.
My son is in a Fed 3 classroom with an unlicensed substitute. Should I ask for compensatory minutes?
Did you say he's at a Fed 3?
It said Fed, F-E-D, but I'm wondering if it's SPED.
But it might be functional education. So here's what I want you guys to not say anymore. I don't want y'all to say an unlicensed teacher. You either are credentialed or you are not. So I would say a non-credentialed adult is in my child's classroom, right? So if they're not credentialed, I would reach out to the campus and go, Bob, I feel like that's the principal's name. Isn't that a good principal name, Bob? It's come to my attention that Mr. Driggers, although he's amazing with kids, is not currently licensed in the state of Florida. When can we expect his license to be current, right? And they'll give you an answer. We don't care about that. We've been doing it for 4 years. I actually had a district a few weeks ago tell me, oh, we've been doing that for a long time, Karen. Oh, probably the wrong thing to say to me. And so we're working on it. And I appreciate that you're working on it. It's a requirement that it happens the first day of school. So when your child has not had a credentialed educator for content areas, and he's a student with a disability in a self-contained room, there's no question that he has been denied a free appropriate public education. And so I would ask for, in 5 days, for the district to please provide me a compensatory offer and look for ways to remedy that failure.
I have an ARD meeting coming up, but the school does not want to give me the data before the meeting. Help!
Yeah. So that happens, right? So I would email them and say, "Dear school in Texas," because that's what we call them in Texas. We call them ARDs. I'm thinking of inventing like a football thing in your mouth, and it's called an ARD guard. And when you go like this, it just says, "You're kidding," right? I feel like that would be a big seller, right? So I would just email them, "Dear amazing Rach, we are so looking forward to spending next Tuesday with you. Please provide us a full draft copy of the ARD document, the IEP document, comma, knowing that it's just a draft and all decisions are made in the meeting. Without that full draft ahead of time, it is unlikely that I will be able to make an informed decision and we'll have to table the meeting and reconvene. So we look forward to sending for you providing us the full draft." So a draft is not predetermination. When you don't provide the draft, it's usually a control issue. It has nothing to do with a legal issue. I like to go into meetings prepared. I think that the school's time is valuable and the parents' time is valuable. So why can't we all be prepared? Because we're not going to start the meeting until I have the draft. So now you're going to have to sit there and watch me print, which I'm a very good printer. But it's silly. Why wouldn't you want all team members to have the ability to meaningfully participate?
Yes, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Do advocates ever talk to school or case managers pre-meeting and gather info? Is that okay to do?
So you're not the parent, right? We are supporting the parent. So certainly I would do that if, we wanted to have a meeting ahead of time. We would just say, "Hey, Cindy, we would like to meet with Huey and Dewey at your district, have a pre-meeting, and we can probably talk through some of these areas of need. And then that way we can get into the actual meeting. We're more efficient with everybody's time." So today we were in a meeting and the information that they provided us was problematic. And so we logged onto the meeting. We all, we were in timeline, so we all introduced ourselves. And then I said, we would like to go into a breakout room with the principal and the district representative and myself and the parent and the interpreter. And so we did that, and I was able to share our great concerns with leadership, and then they're going to address them, and then we'll reconvene. So a lot of times we don't need to have everybody at the meeting. I am not there to school people. I don't do that. Everything rises and falls on leadership, John Maxwell. And so we believe that when we provide the information to leadership, that they will have an opportunity to address or fix areas of need.
My team sent the goals and accommodations, but that is all. Is that okay?
It's insufficient. Like when you write a check and there's not enough money, it's insufficient, right? So the goals came from what? A pristine, prescriptive, puffy present levels. So you giving me goals without present levels, I have no idea how you got them. So we're gonna ask for two things before the meeting. You ready? You guys write this down. If you're driving, don't write this down. Just remember it in your heart. I need the last 36 instructional weeks IEP progress reports, and I need a full draft copy of the IEP document that we're gonna review. We look forward to seeing you. #crushing it. If you add a hashtag, I feel like that gets you the draft.
How often can we ask for full testing? My son had it 2 years ago, and I was told that he has an intellectual ID.
So testing is done initially, right? The FIIE, full individualized initial evaluation, and then the district is charged with addressing reevaluations at the latest every 3 years. We call it a triennial. And at that point, you ask for new testing if you believe it's needed, right? I'm not just for, let's spend all the money in Cobb County. If he doesn't need new testing, it's not going to be purposeful. I would never want to waste the district's funds. But if it's been over a year and you believe that you need testing or updated testing or new areas that were never tested, you certainly can request that in between those intervals. But just testing all the time, we don't do that.
My teacher friend just texted me and said you have a new book coming out. What is it?
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Look at it. They're crazy in the streets. So you guys love that book, right? How many of you guys got the book? Raise your hand. Raise your hand electronically if you got the book. Did it change your life? Yes. So we just wrote the Epic IEP Guide to Paraprofessionals. where all of the information is right here. The same information that I train districts and advocates, so that you will understand and you don't have to be told information from somebody at your IEP or somebody at your school district. It is the law. It's every state law for all the states, and it's the federal requirements and the federal acts as it relates to paraprofessionals. Who wants the paraprofessional book? Put your hands up. And so it will ship at the end of the month, and we're super excited. So the link will be up in a couple of days, and we'll blast it out to you. You like a blast, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am searching for an advocate in Pennsylvania. Do you have one?
Yep. So I had an IEP last week in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh. They were lovely. They were all very young. They all still had their thyroid. They were really, really young. So all of our advocates, we have a team of partner advocates that I directly supervise. We have frequent contact and close proximity. And so all of our advocates advocate nationally. So if you're interested in that, just fill out, there's a little thing at the deal at the bottom, or just go to our link tree or our website, and we have an intake form.
I have my son's IEP, and they denied me extended school year, and he's 2 grades behind. Thoughts?
Yeah, so extended school year has 2 prongs. Often the school just talks about one. So the first prong to be eligible for extended school year is documented regression on IEP goals with a profound amount of time to recoup that skill. Kind of rare that you're going to have that, but it does happen. Number 2 prong for consideration for ESY is for concern for loss of critical skills, right? So we've worked with Alan all year, and I mean, it has been work. And he finally realized that crawfish is not a word. And so he learned the crawfish skill, and we don't want him to lose it over the summer. And so that would be consideration for ESY. ESY is for maintenance. It's not for progression. It's for maintenance on goals that you had this last instructional year.
I think I need an advocate because they also reduced his speech from 4 times a week to 3. Thoughts?
Well, you have speech 4 times a week or 4 times a grading period?
It says week,
yeah.
And that's from the OGS.
Yeah, so the great thing about an advocate is, we're not in the forest. We're not the teacher and we're not the parent, and we can objectively look at the data, the totality of the data, and give you recommendations, next steps, all the way up to representation, even filing. So even if you just got an advocate for a records review, it's a game changer. So again, just reach out to us. We have amazing partner advocates that will take care of you and your kiddo.
There's a great one, and it's where I started. Can I take the course to become an advocate, but just to be an advocate for my child?
Yeah. Everybody that sits at the table is an advocate. We are all advocating for that kiddo. This is just going to make you so much better. And it's going to teach you things that you needed a long time ago, so that you can fully participate. If you're a diagnostician, it'll make you a better diagnostician. However you sit at the table, it's going to equip you in ways that you have never been equipped before.
So for the person who asked from speech from 4 times a week to 3 times a week, they asked, what can they do next?
So if you had a change in the IEP document, hopefully you got a prior written notice that describes in the 7 contents of a prior written notice, when it's legal, of why the district took that action. But you can always call an IEP meeting to look at your child's IEP in progress and talk about, reasons why you believe that it's punitive for you to reduce his minutes.
How do I determine transitioning out of self-contained?
How do you determine that? We determine it the same way we determine everything. Data, right? So we have data, and for self-contained, it would be very rare that I would ever have a child that I serve that we couldn't find some way to have him included in general ed settings that's meaningful, right? We're not just going to have them in general ed to check a box, but inclusion is not the same thing as proximity, right? If I go to a restaurant and somebody's sitting at the next table, I'm not included, right? So we want that general ed for him to have acquisition of skills, socialization piece, and be able to participate in that class with their non-disabled peers.
How do we contact you to get help?
yeah, just reach out to us, specialeducationacademy.com. Our intake form is there.
Are you familiar with the Centers for Independent Living and their role in youth transition?
I am.
I feel my son is not wanted in his class. Has an IEP advocate emails higher ups, no response from no one.
So I don't allow that. So parents are, I'm not patient, right? I'm not patient. So I'm going to email. If I don't get a response in a couple of days, then I will email, but I'll say, this is my second unresponded email. And then I would just pick up the phone and call the principal and say, is your Wi-Fi down? Because I've been sending emails and I haven't got a response. Or you could just be Shirley MacLaine in terms of endearment and just show up. I like to just, what are you going to do if I'm in the lobby? I've been in the lobby, haven't I? I've been on the front lawn. That came up in my feed the other day, Cindy. You and me and those big blown up pictures of your child's educational placement in Seminole County, Florida. Just show up.
And the 4 police units?
Mm-hmm. And they didn't say hi or anything.
They did not.
They didn't. I thought they would like want a selfie, but I was wrong. They probably took a picture though, right? Take a picture, sure. It'll last longer.
Well, there was one in the paper. Would an email trigger a response asking for a PWN and confirm it's been 3 weeks and no answer?
So I don't know if an email triggers anything. It certainly gives you a paper trail with a timestamp. So I would if you haven't got your PWN, I would reach out to the special education director for the district. That is an absolute obligation of every campus that has IEP meetings.
What questions are needed to determine less ABA and longer school days?
So this is a conundrum, right? So if you were my client, I would tell you to decide which modality that's paramount that the student has right now. ABA and public school are 2 totally different things. And I believe personally that when you have a child in half public school and half ABA or whatever combination, I feel like that's a higher cognitive load and acquisition of learning with 2 very different modalities. And so if you don't have your child in school for the entire instructional day, you don't ask the school to deliver FAPE, because once you've broken that full day, there's no requirement for them to deliver FAPE. Additionally, public schools do not implement ABA all day long. That's not what we do in public schools. So if your kiddo's behavioral needs would be best served with ABA, I mean, I would recommend that you do that until he has that acquisition and then come back to school.
Thoughts on retaining students who are on an IEP in kindergarten and or first grade?
Yeah, so my thoughts on retention have nothing to do with an IEP, right? If you believe, if we sit down with mom and dad and your child did not acquire the majority of the state standards, then I would consider retention, right? So do you believe if we had another year in kindergarten that would have more Velcro, there'd be more acquisition of learning? If you think that they didn't acquire all those skills because of the acuity of their disability, then it would probably be my recommendation to consider moving him forward. And while schools will vehemently tell you, it is the worst thing ever, don't do it. I wouldn't tell you that. That's a personal decision. I retained my son in kindergarten, and best thing ever. And I don't think I've ever met somebody that actually did retain their child in kindergarten or first grade that then regretted it. So it's a personal decision between you and admin. It's not an IEP committee decision. It's a decision between the parent and administration. And there shouldn't be any problem for kindergarten. Once you get out of kindergarten, though, you're really going to have to present the data that supports that. So I think the only other time that I had a kiddo after first grade retained was a child that I served that had a severe onset seizures, and I think he was literally he was in Texas Children's Hospital for 89 days for 8th grade. So he missed it, right? So there are a few exceptions. It's Robin, our new posse member. And Robin, we believe with our whole team and you, we can straighten Alan out. I believe we can. We'll get him on a bip.
Finally.
Yes. Finally.
Is there a time limit for an IEP meeting or asking too many questions denied in an IEP meeting?
So I have clients that are super, 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 super inquisitive and super, super, super detail oriented. So, if Rachel's my client and she has 85 questions, she's allowed to have them. I would probably have a pre-meeting, and you could probably sort most of those out, right? So there's not a limit to questions. We certainly want the questions to be around the student's educational needs. But you're the parent, and questions are important. Sometimes we have so many questions, we're actually questioning the teacher's ability to teach. That's not really what we're doing in an IEP meeting. We're going to assume competency. But questions are warranted and welcomed and needed from all members.
Can they take away services when a child is 2 years behind and he's in the 2nd grade?
So I don't know who they is. So as an IEP committee, we look at the IEP, look at its efficacy, and if we need to make adjustments because we have data to support that, then we do that either way. But I think a lot of times, just kind of based on the questions that we get and our team gets, we hear all the time, they did this, they made that decision, which is why we do this training, which is why we wrote the EPIC IEP, because unfortunately parents rarely know their legal rights, nor is the school very good always at explaining those to the parent. So the school's not doing you a favor. It is your child. You are an equal stakeholder. And so, again, I would go back to the table and say, I understand at the last meeting the district's recommendation was to remove services and supports. I don't agree with that. And I would like for the district, city, or county to present data that supports that move.
Can a school do away with self-contained specials or core classes for students with disabilities?
What? Cindy, I like when you make up questions. Yeah, maybe they can just stay on the bus all day. Because isn't that everything? Core classes and yeah. No, we don't do away with stuff unless you're not part of the United States, right? So we have core classes because those are state requirements. And we have electives or, ancillary classes because those are also state requirements. I don't know where these things go. Where is the do away with pile? Is that like on recycle day? We did away with resource. You did? Did you tell the government that you did that? Because I'm going to tell them. Fairfax, Virginia.
And some people think we make these up.
I don't. We don't.
No. I'm reading them right in the comments.
Right in the comments.
Can I ask to change the psychologist doing the assessment for my daughter?
You can, but just in your brain, right? So we don't get to pick staff. However, if there is a staff member that is unethical, then I would say that. I was in a meeting a little while back, and I told the principal that I believe that her staff member's behavior is educator misconduct, and I believe that what she has populated in the document is fraudulent. So, you know me, I just say it. And so our job as advocates is to talk about uncomfortable truths in a way that people keep listening. So unless you believe the psychologist is going to break her commitment to her licensure, then we just have to assume competency. If you get back the evaluation and it's banana sauce, then you can pivot and ask for something different there.
Can a school put a limit on your emails? Because I was denied an IEP meeting because I asked too many questions.
The school can do whatever they want to do, right? Just like I can do whatever I want to do. So, but there's a legal responsibility, obligation, and duty for school districts to implement IDEA. I have a client right now that's on a communication plan implemented by Dr. So-and-so, the principal at the high school. And while you can choose to do that, we also can choose to file with the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights for retaliation. So I don't know how principals are going to decide whether or not Alan's email warrants a response or doesn't. Like, I feel like you're playing God. And so there are parents that have a lot of questions, which is interesting because schools are always asking parents to be what? Involved. Unless you're too involved, right? So I don't know where the involved meter is. Maybe that comes with Jean Day on Fridays. We should put an involved meter in our TikTok shop, right? We would like you to come to the meeting and not say anything. How about that? And we'd like to be done in 38 minutes. Well, you know what? I'd like small hips. That's not going to happen either. So
I have no problem coming to my IEP and not saying anything because I have you.
yeah.
How do you support the school knowing the current system is in far bigger... Wait. How do you support the school knowing the current system is far bigger than the campus?
So I don't exactly know what you're asking, and so I don't want to answer in a way that's not accurate, but if you can give us some more language around that. Is special ed perfect? It is not. It is the best special ed in the world, and while it has some areas of need, when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody, and almost always we get it right.
I really need some help. What can a regular ed student parent do if a student with an IEP keeps physically hurting my child?
So I would give the principal one opportunity to fix it today. So the most important thing at schools is that we're all safe, right? So if the teacher can't keep the classroom safe and the principal won't do what he should do under his leadership, and my child is being harmed, I would do the same thing as if my neighbor harmed the child or somebody at Target harmed the child. So I would report that to Child Protective Services. Nobody should be getting hurt at public schools.
If a child is being given OSS for behaviors, what is the next step? The child does not have a 504 or an IEP yet.
So sometimes that's just what happens, right? One of our partners just had to deal with that. So you can ask for that to be a consideration in the disciplinary hearing. I had a kiddo a few years ago. He clearly should have been on an IEP. They had just brought me in. He was on a 504. And I actually got a hold of the assistant superintendent and I asked, would you be opposed to putting a pin in out-of-district placement till we complete the evaluations? And if he is found eligible, we could put that disciplinary action aside. And the assistant superintendent granted it, and he was found eligible, and he didn't have to go to DAEP.
Excellent. How come schools move children to different schools based on grades with disabilities? Is that a good thing?
When you say grades, do you mean like a grade for an assignment, or you mean based on the year that they're in? I need a little more.
That they're in.
Yeah, I would need a little more information about that question.
Okay. What right does a teacher have to request more services for a student in their class? Like, if I believe they need a one-on-one, what should I do?
If you're the amazing, ridiculously awesome teacher, you're on the front line, right? If you believe a child needs something, nobody would know that quicker than you would. And so reach out to leadership and share with them your need. And that's the most you can do. Teachers don't hire people. They don't staff rooms. They're not playing golf on the weekend with the school board, right?
I have a student that has missed 79 of the 109 days of school. How can he pass into the 8th grade?
Oh, love, we pass everybody. Everybody in the whole America is on the AB honor roll. You know how they do, Cindy, like the end of the year awards?
Yes.
It must take like 6 days if like everybody's on the AB honor roll. Everybody in the elementary school, please stand to get your AB honor roll. So we pass kids, because that is the expectation from leadership and the goofy state testing people.
Can you share how you recommend goals be measured? I've gotten some questions about trials and percentages.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other, a trial, a percentage. So an IEP goal is acquisition of a skill, right? I identified a deficit in the present levels. We believe it's an area of need. So we wrote an IEP goal, and then we crafted it in a way that we believe after 36 instructional weeks of specially designed instruction that we'll get to this endpoint. So we believe that about 70% is acquisition of a skill. And so the IEP goal is for a skill. And, to make it easier for people that don't know math, which is me, I might make the goal 80%. And so the first grading period, if we're doing 9 weeks, would be, you would just back it up from there. So it could be 80, the next one, 87. See, I'm not good at this, 60, 70, and 80, whatever you believe that they can acquire in each grading period.
That's why I taught phonics. My son is failing just about all subjects with an IEP. What should I request as a support for him?
Something different. This is not working, right? And so I am in the state of Texas. I have a kiddo that we have a meeting next week, and he has C's, like C's. And he's in elementary school. He has a 71, a 74. He had 70s last year. So we're doing special education, and it's not enough, right? So it's sort of like any other thing. An IEP is our best informed guess. But when it's not effective, then we have to come back to the table and make adjustments in instruction, expectation or capacity, the learner expectation, setting, supports, those sorts of things.
At what age can children attend an IEP meeting?
That's completely up to the parent. It's the parent's decision if a child attends an IEP meeting. And I know you're going to be so upset about that, but I'm okay with that. While the child is a minor, it's the parent's decision if they attend the IEP meeting. If the parent wants a 3-year-old to attend the meeting, they could. So we are charged with inviting the student during transition years. And so that was a requirement in the reauthorization of 2004 of IDEA. So that federal requirement is in the year they turn 16. Most states have increased that benefit of IDEA and made it 14, and some crazy kids in Florida made it 12. So I don't have my students come to IEP meetings for transition. There's a few times that I have, but I would like kids to be in class. Adults struggle to communicate effectively at IEP meetings or even agree on parts of the IEP. So I'm not really sure why we have a disabled child leading their meeting. So, and it can get wonky, right? I've had teachers talk to the child afterwards and go, "Why did you say that?" Or "That's what your mom wanted." And so this is my 30th year of doing this. I do about 500 IEP meetings a year. I've sat in a lot of meetings. And if there was a way to make it effective, that would be great. But for my experience, I feel that it's either contrived or the student doesn't necessarily understand what you're asking them, right? So we're in a meeting. We got 12 adults. Brennan, what do you want to do after school? Be done with school, right? I don't have any disabilities. And I remember in 1907, when I was a senior, I feel like it was 1907, 1984, 1983, and they came in and they passed out a piece of paper. What do you want to do in college? All sorts of things I can't tell the teacher, right? And so they gave us this sheet, and literally we looked at each other, and I checked marketing because I thought that was like shopping. I don't know. And like my friend checked that, and we turned it back in. Your frontal lobe isn't completely formed until your mid to late 20s. So if you want your child to come and you think that that will be meaningful, then that's certainly your decision. If you don't want your child to come, that is your decision. I was in a meeting, I won't tell you where, Baines Middle School in Fort Bend Independent School District. And this principal was yelling at me in the hall. How many of you guys think that's a good idea? Anybody? Anybody?
No one ever.
And he said, he's coming in here. I'm not sure what you're doing, Muffin, but he's not. The parents don't want him to participate in this meeting. Well, that's he's yelling at me, right? So I just said, hang on. And I just called the executive director and I said, Buttercup is having a moment and he is yelling and requiring that the student come in to the IEP meeting, which of course is not the requirement under the law. It's the parents. It's the parents' decision if their minor child participates in an IEP meeting before they're 18, right? And she's like, I will call him. And I was like this, so-and-so is calling you, pick up. But sometimes you just have people that are just, I don't know if they're just used to giving a directive and 100 people roll out called children. Have you ever seen people like that, Cindy, that think they're the boss of you in an IEP meeting? This ain't that.
This definitely ain't that. Okay. Okay. Oops. Sorry, it slid. Let's see.
And I just want to say something. When people say that they disagree with me completely, that's completely fine. Disagreeing is part of the human experience. I wouldn't want you to agree with everything that I say. I am just sharing my experience as a veteran advocate in literally tens of thousands of meetings.
This one came in again. Let me try to read it better.
Read better.
How do you support the school knowing the current system is far bigger than the campus?
Yeah, I feel like I still don't really know what that means. Do you mean the system overall? So, I mean, if you believe that your child's going to get an educational benefit in public school, then that's where we got to dig, right? That's where we got to drill. So, I don't think that schools are ever as bad as you might think they are. And they also may not be as good as you think they are. But if you believe that the right place to educate your child, that you're the parent of, is in public school, we can get it right for them.
What if a child is blind in one eye and the school is pushing a 504? Why not an IEP?
Cha-ching! I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. So we make decisions based on data. Is that student going to need specially designed instruction that solely occurs in an IEP?
Oh, the issue is far bigger than the campus. So how do we solve it at the county level?
You know what? If there was a problem, I'd solve it. Have a press conference. Be told that you have to stand in the easement.
In heels.
In heels and pantyhose.
Oh my God. I love your humor. It is hilarious.
Yeah, somebody said tens of thousands of meetings. Really? Yeah, this is my 30th year. Really?
Yes.
It's probably actually more than that. I just stopped counting a while back. But I do 4 to 5 IEP meetings every day, besides meetings with hearing officers and federal attorneys and school districts and all sorts of things.
How do you feel about children having statistically significant weaknesses, yet the school says they're still doing good?
Yeah, I would say it sounds like you're about to screen share the data that supports that statement. We either have the data or we don't.
When will teachers learn about ADHD? My kiddo's teachers never seem to understand his disability.
Yeah,
What do I do?
So it's hard for us to understand something that we haven't experienced, right? We can have empathy for it. I always say that in my experience, the 2 most discriminated children that I serve have always been, number 1, Down syndrome, and number 2, ADHD. We don't believe in ADHD. We think you're a bad parent. We think that you don't have rules. We don't really believe it's a condition that is pervasive. And so, because you don't look like you have a disability, right? And so that's just going to be a hill that we always have to climb.
I'm just wondering if you would recommend an IEP for a child with cerebral palsy, but no intellectual delay.
Yeah, so the student is going to meet eligibility for orthopedic impairment. And so he would, at minimum, need instruction around that.
What kind of help or services can I ask to help my son who is significantly below grade level?
Yeah, so I mean, you have to remember the IEP meeting is a conversation, right? So I would say, Alan, and we teach this in the 2-day. I think we teach it really well. Really how to have conversations with teams. I would just say, so Alan, just kind of as a rough estimate, you're Trevor's 5th grade math teacher this year, right? Yeah. So if you had to guess, because you've been working with him all year, about how many grade levels behind do you think he is, right? So being a good advocate is being obviously well-versed and trained in the law and the ongoing changes that do exist in education. But really, probably the best thing that I teach is communication skills, because you're having to communicate with strangers all day long. And people don't ask really good questions, right? They ask questions that make people feel interrogated or not appreciated. And so you have to get better at communicating an IEP meeting to get the information that you need to make for decisions on students. So if I ask that question, Alan, you're his math teacher in 5th grade, about how many years behind do you think he is? He will answer you. And if he says about 2, then that requires specially designed instruction. He's not going to just go home and have a good night's sleep and be on grade level.
It is 6:45. How many questions would you like?
45. No. So we'll take about 3 more questions. Remember, this weekend is the 2-day live intensive. You don't want to miss it. The great Cindy's going to be there, and Alan.
Yes.
So it's amazing. I love doing the 2-day live because we love equipping you. 75% of the people that take our trainings are educators, and we like them because they're smarty pants. So that is this weekend. You get the workbook. You get the recordings forever, so you can listen to my very slow rate of speech over and over and over again. And then 2 weeks after that, we start the what? The mastermind. Mastermind. Yeah. And you can participate in if you can't be there for the whole 2-day live virtual, you can come in and out if you have other obligations, but you'll still get the recording.
If a child has an IEP that includes a one-to-one service during the school day, does that extend to after-school care?
After-school care is not part of an IEP. If you had activities after school that were tied to a class and part of their grade, then yes. So let's say you're in 9th grade and you're in band, and we all know that we are in marching band in the fall, right? And you have a disability and you have these educational needs during the instructional day. The expectation from the teacher is that you attend football games, right? Thursdays and Fridays. The expectation in October, is that every weekend you're going to a city marching competition, a regional marching competition, solo and ensemble. Those are expectations and are tied to the curriculum, and your grade is tied to that.
Excellent. Okay. A high school student is taking college classes. Do the accommodations still need to be given?
It depends on where they're taking the college class. Are they taking the college class inside of the instructional day at the school?
Okay.
Somebody said if a parent doesn't come to an eligibility meeting, but they're found eligible for services, are they ineligible? So the eligibility recommendation has been made. Parent has to provide consent, right? 2 times parents have to provide consent, and that is for testing, and that is for provision of services. So even if they weren't there, you could acquire the parent's signature to start services.
Excellent. That was your 3, ma'am.
3. Do we want to show them that you guys want to see the book that's coming out? It's coming out. So this will ship this month. You guys, you ready for the new book? Are you ready? Somebody's got to say it. We're ready. I got to see it.
Ready.
I don't see it in the comments. I don't think you're ready. Oh. Are y'all ready? Somebody say we're ready. We're ready. Okay, ready. So you asked for it. You got it. The Epic IEP Guide to Rockstar Paraprofessionals. So it's 250 pages long, and it is Karen in a book for paraprofessionals. So we have all the state statutes for whatever state you live in. We have all the federal requirements and the obligations and the understanding in their legal format. So we're not arguing with people that may or may not understand the greatness of paraprofessionals, but also their limitations. So remember, we get it right for the child, we get it right for who? Everybody. And then go get the EPIC IEP. Get one for you, get one for your ex-husband, get one for somebody that needs to be EPIC. Okay? All right, if you guys need anything, let us know. And come join us in the academy. Your first month is free, so every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, we train in the academy. So go to Special Education Academy, sign up for that, and we'll see you guys in the next training. Hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change, we're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody.